My beautiful, delicious co-creators, we're in the middle of San Francisco with amazing views here at Dr. Chow's home. Thank you for welcoming us.
You're very welcome. It's wonderful to have you here.
Wonderful to meet you in person. I heard great things because you brought so much healing. You brought so many methods and wisdom from China, haven't you?
Well, we try, and we have studied a lot of different methods. But
So
I have developed a particular system called the Chow Integrated Healing System, or the Chow Medical Qigong. And so it's a combination of the classic and also our modern Western kind of give it to me now sort of symptoms. And so we get very fast results and lasting results. And so we're very excited about what Chow Medical Qigong can do.
So it's really about, again, just to remind, because we did some videos on Qigong already, but just for the people that are not too familiar, tell us what is your view of Qigong?
Well, Qigong, Qi is the vital life force. It's the breath. And so without breath, you're dead.
Yeah.
Right? And so therefore that vital life force is very important. So you build that vital life force, and gong means to work or to cultivate or to manifest. So it's manifesting the qi, the vital life force, to its highest ability. And so therefore if you have low level of qi, that means you have low level of health. And Qigong is the basis for traditional Chinese medicine, because Chinese medicine is based on the concept of the yin and yang and the energetics and the balance, the harmony of nature and ourselves. And so Qigong is really the basis of life.
Because you were an acupuncturist originally, no?
I am.
And you were still practicing in parallel Qigong?
Oh yes. Well, see, in China when you do Qigong, it isn't just practice Qigong.
Yeah.
You go for cupping, you go for moxa, and you go for acupuncture, you go for tuina, onmo, the massage, So it's a combination, and whereas the vital life force is a basis of all that too as well. But I'd let you know I'm a nurse as well.
Oh.
And I have my doctorate in education, and then became an acupuncturist and also a Qigong Grandmaster. And so combining all of these things, it makes things a lot more potent.
So how did Qigong evolve? How do you see it evolving? Because you're organizing the 13th Congress here in San Francisco of Qigong, so you must see some pretty amazing things and notice some people out there that are bringing unique skills and energy.
Yes, and we select them.
Yeah.
We select the best in the world. Every year we have the best in the world. And then we have some who are rising stars, and we like to encourage them too. So we call the new generation and the traditional generation. And so our Congress is something that I volunteer to do and support it with our own funding if there's no funding coming. And so I feel that it's very important for the Qigong and the traditional Chinese medicine community to come together and support one another and not be adversaries and say, this is my turf and everything. And there needs to be a lot done like that so that we can be a stronger force along with natural healing and complementary alternative medicine. So develop this strong force so that we can become proactive in making legislation and in policies that govern our health and our life. Right now we're only on a reactive stage. We don't have any input. And so this is what the Congress is doing. And so with the Congress, we have babied, fostered the Congress in Italy. It's into its second now, and we foster the Congress in Japan, and it's had its second, and we fostered a Congress of Qigong in Canada, and we have the Romanian Qigong Association, we have the German Qigong Association. So we have a World Qigong Federation, and it's very exciting. The people that's involved is like they're community minded, and everybody volunteers to do this. Even we have movie stars with us, and they're volunteering the time to build this community.
But tell us, how is it different? How is the Qigong evolving?
Well, Qigong, as you know, has about over 5,000 different styles, and Tai Chi is one of them. Everybody knows Tai Chi, but Qigong, and then of course I have the Chow Qigong, which isn't part of this 5,000 yet, and there's others that's developing. And so, Qigong developed from individuals becoming sensitive to nature And so they develop these movements and they feel and etc. And so the thing is, when you develop that in all the hamlets and all the little villages and etc., it's the big ones that have the capacity to develop big followings. But they don't even count the little ones that is being practiced and have results too. You know, so Qigong, I think, is going to be a phenomenon that's hitting the West, you know, in a very, very big way. The reason is that the way our environment is right now, and the way the world is, the situation with the tsunamis and the nuclear meltdown and so many earthquakes and etc., it's because the world, the earth, and God, if I may use the name God or Buddha or, you know, the greater spirit, whatever you feel is the epitome of what the power is in this world. Well, we've been polluting the environment so much that it's coming back to haunt us. And so therefore with Qigong, the power of Qigong, when you can develop your power so great that one of our masters that's coming to the program, he can heat water with Qi. So just think, we don't need the stove, we don't need electricity. If everybody learns how to warm water up or can do that, right? If one person can do that, everybody can have the possibility to do that. And also he walks on paper. That's elevated, all right? And there's also other people can sit in ice, like the Shaolin Qigong masters. They can defy swords and spears to them and can break metal on their heads, break it into pieces, or can do fire into their mouths. If one person can do that, just think, if we empower ourselves, not necessarily do those go so far, but if we empower ourselves, then colds would be nothing. Cancer would be nothing. And right now cancer is really frightening, and heart conditions would be nothing. And also that the chemicals that we take, it's also destroying us, you know. So that if we build up only internal Qi, then that means building a stronger population, building a stronger world. And I'm very, very passionate about this.
I can see that.
Because we are destroying ourselves. Like the most recent thing with Japan, you know, we're helping to raise money too. But we have a second quake at 7.1. That is phenomenal. And so we already have radiation that is affecting here from there. It has been testing, and we have accelerated radiation. So the world, there's no boundaries now. And so we must think worldly. We must think the planet. It's not just me here or my friend here or my family here. And we must do things that we can. And so what Qigong does is teaching people how to use the natural energy and to become stronger. Okay? So for example, colds. When people come in to see me for colds, right away we can abort it. Instead of usually hangs on for 2-3 weeks, and so for coughing and the throat and everything. And I'm called into the hospitals when the clients are dying. They may be in a coma for 10 days, and their temperature is elevated to 107. Let's give you a case. And the blood pressure and pulse is elevated to beyond means, and the girl is on an ice bed of ice. Well, you can't get well on an ice bed. And so they called me in, and when I walked into the room, the nurse explained, and good thing the nurse saw it, not the parents or anything. You know? And so the nurse said, oh my God, her temperature of 107 came down to 99. And if we can keep it there, we can take her off the ice bed. And we did just that. And her pulse, everything came back down to normal. And all the blisters in her body that she actually had lupus, so serious, and she was on kidney dialysis. And so we were able to dry up the blisters on her body, because if that got infected, it was over, you know, for her. So that's a serious. And now there is a stroke case, 3 times stroke in the same day, 3 strokes and 1 seizure. He was 80 years old and was in the hospital, and they had to put him on all resources. you know, all life support. And they called me in. Deepak Chopra referred me, the family, to call me. And so I went in. And this was in Indiana. You know, the hospital's there, right? And so when I walked in, also we got him out of coma. And he was in a coma for 10 days. And they said he'll never walk, he'll never, you know, be more than a vegetable. Well, within 10 days, we got him discharged to a nursing home rehab, which is unheard of. The doctors kept saying, every day they come on rounds, they said, well, since Dr. Chow came, I have no idea what has happened, but he's getting better all the time. And we finally got him feeding and eating and everything, and he was discharged and lived for another 7 long years. And then he caught pneumonia, and the family called me back again, and they said, can you do a second miracle? I said, you know, God gives us one miracle, and we need to be happy about that. However, if you're ready, that if I come, we'll try for the miracle. Because he was just in disillusion and everything, you know, and very confused and everything. And so we did. I said, but you're also prepared that I can help him die easier and better. And so they said, well, come. And so we gave him 3 more days. He woke up, and we gave him 3 more days, a really good time. He recognized his wife, he recognized his son, recognized his grandson, everything. And then the 4th day, he kind of choked on his, you know, swallowing, and he died very easily and very quickly. We all stood around him and helped him move forth, transition. And so it's like the son and the wife and all of us said, you know, Bill, it's okay. We've had 7 extra good years, and it's okay. And he just peacefully died. So that's what life and death is all about.
Yeah.
And that's what Qigong can help, to put the energy in that form. And that's the extreme, you know. But then the stressors, you know, of every day.
Yeah.
I can't eat too well, I can't digest, and I have trouble sleeping, I have trouble eating, I get allergies, and, you know, and I'm too fat, you know, all those things. And so that is very good to help with the stressors of every day and help them become more peaceful, because it isn't just an exercise nor just a meditation. Qigong is kind of a way of life.
Yeah.
You change your attitude. And, you know, we say a lot of negative things and we don't even know it. And it affects your energy. It goes down, okay? And so I can demonstrate that to you if you wish.
Sure.
You know, yeah?
Yeah.
And so, all right. And so, all right, so let's just test your arm. Put your arm up and test how strong you are. Put it up at forehead height, and I'm going to press, okay? Okay, you have the strength, okay? Okay, now I'm just going to do something. All right, and up with your arm again. Same height, yeah, and you tell me if you notice anything different.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, and so now I'll just, okay, and up with your arm again. Up the same height, and resist. Right?
Much stronger.
Yes, and so we work with the energy one way. It sedates and disperses your energy, and this is why we work with people. So if you've got too much, we help to disperse it, and if you've got not enough, we help it. Yes. And so,
but it's more than just, because we know, a lot of us know Qigong, you know, with the movements and the flow, but here you're really talking of, I mean, you're not interfering, but you're part of the process, and
you and I are one.
Yeah.
And so if I do anything, it affects you. So therefore the master has to be good to know what to do.
Yeah.
Okay? And also that I'm connecting to the universal Qi. And if any Qigong masters say that I healed you, you run the other way. Because the master doesn't heal anybody. The master is a wonderful conduit for the divine or God or the energy that is there, and they transfer it, transpose it, make it stronger and more powerful, and then move it to you, but you're the one that is the one that's going to be healing.
Yeah.
It's your attitude And for example, even simple expressions like no problem, you use that?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. Okay, let's see what that does. Okay, let's test your energy. Again, go back to and test your energy. Let's see how strong you are. Okay.
Yeah.
And all right, and now say no problem.
No problem.
Okay, and look. And what can you say instead of no problem? And 85% of the population use that, and it affects everybody else. And so, what can you say instead of no problem? You mean simply what? It's okay.
It's okay? Yeah.
It's okay.
Let's do that.
Okay. All right. And is this
okay?
Good? And look at that. You're much stronger.
Yeah.
And it flips and flops just like that. And this is where the Chow Qigong, we deal with these finer things like this. And people even say, why don't we go to the movie? You know, why don't we go to Vancouver? That's where you're going to go. And look what happens to you. Okay? Why don't we go to Vancouver? You don't have enough strength to go.
No.
Okay? Let's go to Vancouver.
Let's go to Vancouver.
Okay? And you've got strength to go. Yeah? And that's what people don't realize. And that's why we get cancer, heart, diabetes, arthritis, and you know, asthma, and all the things that we are affected with. Is because our energy keeps getting down with these everyday habits. And how we speak, what we think from our heart. Do you know that?
I think sometimes we speak a lot from the brain and the mind, though, no?
No, it's not the brain. In Chinese medicine, it's the heart. And now in Western science, they're beginning to discover that. You know, research has been coming out, and they're saying, wow, we're finding more activity in the heart first before the brain. So what is it? The brain is a relay system, and the initiation of thought and action comes from your heart. And so, like psychiatric problems, in Chinese we call "sam lei bang." In mental health, you know, psychiatric problem, they don't say brain problem. Sam is the heart, lei inner heart, bang is illness. Inner heart illness is psychiatry or mental illness. And so therefore, and now in research in science, they found that people who have organ transplants, when they have a heart transplant, there's lots of complication. There's a very special case. They found a woman of a very educated woman, very fine woman, you know, live well, you know, like fine living and all that. And after she had her heart transplant, she started drinking beer and slouching around, and even had killing instincts to her. And so they looked back into who she got the heart from, and it's from a killer, and one who drank and just sloughed around and everything. So that's one case. They've had several other cases too. So I follow research because because I've been on the consultant for National Institutes of Health for about 40 years. You know, the research arm of the government, and I've been on national policies and all that. And so I'm very much interested in that. I'm not just a healer, and I'm not just an organizer for World Congress, and I'm not just a policy. So it's like bringing it all together. And
you're passionate and involved and curious.
And very curious. Yes. And well, it's exciting in that we get very instant results. And we can teach people to get that instant result, like getting energy up.
So what can we do in the morning to get our energy up? Is there a movement or something we can do? Or
well, you know, the breath is the most important. Because that's what gets you oxygen. And oxygen is life. Right? So the deep breath from your diaphragm, and this is move back your shoulder and silver thread up the spine, and just stretch your spine and just feel that you're stretching. And then you just move here. This is the piston. So move it out with your lip closed, and then move it in, and the air comes out through your lips. You hear the hissing sound? So you exaggerate this. And when you move this out, in through your nose and really move it out, way out and hard, and you hit it and it's strong. We have a lot of fun in our teaching.
Yeah, I bet. You're fun.
And so gradually you get hard, and people who are fat, they lose weight.
Oh, yeah.
And within 1.5 hours, we have had people lose 12 inches.
Oh.
And this is the ambassador from Thailand, who's my client and my student and friend, very good friend. He's lost 12 pounds around. He said, "Oh, I can see my shoes now." You know, and we deal with weight loss and all that, and also with the breath, and also what I demonstrated to you, getting that instant result, that frozen shoulders. People have. That's a lot of cases of this, and they can't move their arms like this, and for years, and they schedule for operation. Well, we're able to, within 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, relieve it, and they have full range of motion. And we've had them come to the Congress, and 6 years now, the woman had the thing, had the shoulders. She was scheduled for surgery, and we worked just 2 minutes with her. Totally gone. And 6 years later she wrote, says, "I'm still good, no surgery." You know, that's a fibromyalgia, also 25 years fibromyalgia. They came to the conference, or they can come to my workshops or whatever. And within 10 minutes, first time they had total pain-free time. And so it sounds ludicrous, you know, hearing this, but this has happened. Every day there's a miracle, you know. And
so your book is called Miracle of Healing from
Miracle
China?
of Healing from China, Qi Gong. And I have 2 DVDs, one on the exercise, the other on what I said, tracking the system of meridian tracking, and help open up the meridian. And then I have a CD on meditation, and it's the Laws of 5 Element, silver thread meditation. And so we have that to practice with. This is the beginning.
Yeah, but it's time, I think, for our culture here to really bring all this knowledge and wisdom, because it's ancient and we need it right now.
It's very needed right now, particularly the status of the world and the financial distress right now. Okay, we call it financial tsunami. And so people need to learn to live with what they have, you know, and not all that we think we need. It's we really want those things. We only need very little, and if we build our own forces and resources, that we don't need very much. So we're talking about working with people, architects and feng shui, you know, the wind, water, and the ecology of our environment. And so we need to think about sustainable villages and build so that it's so that things can be recycled and so forth. And so we need to think about really living that way. And if everybody practiced Qigong in the household, that we would not have a lot of serious diseases. And for example, I teach my clients and family to work on each other and just brush the pain away. And they
just
can
touching.
just brushing the qi and brushing it away. So what does it feel like?
It's pretty good.
And so, and you can begin to see energy. So I teach my client how to see, my patients and my clients. I don't call them patients because they're really students of mine. And so you can see the energy, and you can see where it is needed. And we have people who have 49-year knee pain constantly, and in my workshops in 5 minutes, that's all gone. And she can walk. And I always say, walk like a French model on a ramp. And she'd be lumbering at first, and she'd just go walk like a French model. And it's like fun. But when you tell people these things that I'm telling you now, this is impossible, you know, unless they experience it. Sometimes, even when they experience it, they feel, oh, how's that possible? Not possible. So we have to get the mystery out of it. And this is what I also have a passion, my vision to do, is make it so that it's feasible for everybody. And so that everybody can heal.
Beautiful. So how much Qigong do you say we need per day? Because we've heard 15 minutes to hours, really.
It depends on the individual. But I first start advising them 8 hugs a day and 3 belly aching laughs a day, at least. If you have 100, that doesn't mean it covers for 10 days. Next day, you start with 1. And my clients and students, sometimes they make an appointment to see me. They say, basically, I just want to come and get a hug. And oftentimes, that they make the appointment, and the problems that they have, when they come, I said, well, how is things? She said, you know what? Since I made the appointment, I haven't had any problem. And that happens a lot, you know. And I do distant healing as well, from here to Germany.
So how does that work? How do you tune in the distance?
Well, you're always tuned in. You are connected. And this is quantum physics in science. So that you are, and you are everywhere. There is no stoppage because your skin, you can see your skin as such. The energy continues out infinitely, and depends how strong you are. That's what you have to build, the internal. So you ask, how long does it pass? Some people can practice 15 minutes and get as much as somebody practicing 1 hour. Okay, so we have to determine and see what it is with that person, and also how their frame of mind is changing to positive thinking rather than negative thinking. And you saw what happened when you even say no problem, you know, and or let's do this versus why don't we do this. And so all this enters into my system of consideration. And so yes, an hour is good, but if you have serious condition, you need to do it for many hours. And of course I have the points system that I work with, and you have Tuina on bowl, you know, which they can learn. So it isn't just sitting and doing the energy. So Qigong, many different
holistic.
forms, very holistic, yes. And your diet is very important.
So what do you recommend for a diet?
Well, it depends on the individual, but again, generally, 9 servings of vegetable, and 1 serving of fruit, or 2, and 1 serving of carbohydrates only, not 5 servings of carbohydrate, because that turns into sugar when your body doesn't need the carbohydrate. And 10 glasses of water, 10 big glasses of water, pure water. Soup doesn't count, or juice doesn't count, because no, because that's already got something in it. So it's pure water that will take the toxin and absorb the toxin from your body. And so you need to wash the toxins out and help your liver detoxify. Okay, and also sugar cut. And you can have carob or honey, but modify that. All right, salt cut to the minimum.
Dairies?
Dairy cut. I cut them on dairy, but you can have almond milk. And I don't recommend soya milk anymore, because soya bean is genetically engineered, same as corn, same as tomato. So stay away from genetically engineered food. We're running into a big problem because we don't even know it, that many of the food are genetically engineered because they're not required to label it. And also the water is polluted, so we need to drink water that's been purified, and definitely no chlorine in it, because that diminishes your immune system. And so all this diminishes your immune system. And also farm-raised fish and all that. You need to eat wild fish, then there's a danger of mercury, you know, etc. So this is why it's important for do Qigong and build
so increase your immune system.
Increase your immune system
Strengthen
and be
it.
able to resist some of these other things, the factors. And Dr. Melmoth Oz says, if you want to live to be 100, do Qigong. Dr. Oz with Oprah. And also many others said that. Christina Jorgensen, Jorgensen, the OBGYN, also a celebrity, and she say that if you want to reduce stress, do Qigong.
Qigong.
Qigong, yeah.
Let's do Qigong.
Right.
Every day.
And we have fun, because we do Qigong sometimes fast, and sometimes slow,
Oh, yeah?
and sometimes we really kick it up, you know.
Oh,
right.
nice.
Yeah, and so you have a variety. It's not always just that. And you know, we get bored with it, right? The Western mind, they want something. That's why they have kickboxing and everything, right? So I'm not sure I would go with kickboxing, but it certainly is very popular. But Qigong done it different. But however, science has found, and through Dr. Shin Lin, who does a lot of research, and he's on the NIH board and similar as what I've been on and so forth. He's with UC Irvine. And he's done research for fast Tai Chi and slow Tai Chi. And that the slow Tai Chi is more effective than the fast Tai Chi. And then when you pause, at that pause, that's when the energy really spikes up. And who would believe that?
I can feel it. I could see that, yeah.
Yeah? And at that pause, that means all your concentration is there, and the energy spikes up. Okay? And so the slow movement is good. So it's okay to do the fast and all that, but realize that it's not so powerful. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Dr. Chow. It was such a delight
you're very welcome.
to meet you and to speak about the Qigong that you're definitely passionate about. And for you, that means that's living a juicy life, right?
A very juicy life.
That makes a juicy life. Qigong. Awesome.
Exactly, yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate the job you're doing, going all over the world and interviewing the ones that have influence on the world.
Yeah.
And I call that the phoenix, you know, the phoenix from the ashes. So we all have to be the phoenix now to save the world. Yeah. So I have 8 hugs a day and 3 belly aching laughs a day.
Let's do it.
At least, yes. And you have to hug this side.
Oh, okay.
Heart to heart.
Heart to
Not
heart.
this side.
Okay. No,
yeah,
no.
heart to heart.
Much love.
Yes,
Bye from San Francisco.
Yes.
So I'm with Kathy, and something quite miraculous happened in your life, didn't it? Tell us about what happened.
Yes, it did. A little over 2 years ago now, I was diagnosed with end-stage cancer. I came to Stanford and was treated by Western medicine at Stanford. And I came to Dr. Chow for help with it. And I came once a week, and through the process of working with Chow Qigong and meditation and also diet, I'm now cancer-free. I mean, that makes it sound pretty simple, but I had 9 sessions of chemotherapy. I had major surgery. After the major surgery, before I had it, Dr. Chow had said to me, "You watch, you're going to heal much faster." And the 3rd day after surgery, not even Thursday, I had surgery Tuesday. On Thursday, I was up doing Qigong beside my bed, and the patient in the room next to me, her doctor was there, and a doctor came out, walked by, and could see into, to where I was, and she goes, thumbs up. So I was able to be up and, doing exercise within 2 days. But also the effects it had on the side effects. I had lots of side effects. One of them was something where you got these welts on your face, and they oozed, and they were painful, and they were serious. The first time I had them, I didn't know enough to just come in here. But the second time, I had an appointment with Dr. Chow, and I came in, and she took a look at my face, and she moved it around a little bit, looked closely at it, and said, "This is what we're dealing with today." And with the healing touch, and she did acupuncture for that as well. That night, they were gone, and they didn't come back. I mean, they came back the next chemo. They came back after every chemo after that. But each time, she stopped it. And that meant a lot. I mean, they just healed up and went away after that and didn't grow. It didn't increase. I mean, what would happen is I'd get one, and then it would get worse and worse. This time, I got one. I was here. It stopped. It stopped, and it healed. It didn't progress. And I don't know, I had very good results. After the 3rd chemo, and after coming here a number of times, I had the 2nd round of PET scans, the workup for cancer, and for my particular kind, it's just the tell-all. And that was much better than they expected it to be, and each time thereafter. But, one of the times when I had the reactions, my doctor was apologizing to me for the reactions. And I said, if I had known in the beginning that this was possible, but that I would be in remission, and this was after the 6th chemo, I just said, go for it. Take the chance. And I'm not sure, could I have gotten here with Western medicine alone? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Could I have gotten here with Eastern medicine alone? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But I know that combining the two, I went into remission quickly. The cancer stopped growing after three rounds of chemo and about 6 weeks it would have been with Dr. Chow. I felt better. I was able to go out and to do things. When I came in here, it kind of didn't matter how I felt when I came in here. I knew I would be fine to drive home. And that's an issue when you have chemo. And even now, I'm 2 years out, I'm in remission, and I'm doing great. But I have side effects. I have peripheral neuropathy, and that's a pretty common side effect if you've had a lot of chemotherapy. And with it, I have tingling in my hands and my feet, and my hands burn in the night. And I used to get leg pain. I'm past that. But with the manipulations that Dr. Chow, I'm kind of showing you, you take a hold of your hand and move it around. So she not only does it for you, but teaches you to do things for yourself so that you can control your own existence. And it will take away the tingling for a while, for quite a while. It just helps tremendously. So I think the combination of Eastern and Western medicine is why I'm here now and why I'm able to do the things I can do. You know, it really doesn't, cancer affects my life in that I'm more scared than I used to be. I appreciate life more than I used to. I eat healthier. I exercise more. I do Qigong twice a day. I do the Chow Qigong twice a day, and I meditate. So in some ways I take more time for myself. So it's changed my life in that way, but otherwise I'm healthy, I'm out and about, I do what I want to do. You know, I live in the East Coast. I spend this winter I spent here in the Bay Area with my sister and family. And now, shortly after the Congress, within days, I'll be going home, back east. You know, I'm perfectly able to do that. I drive in and out of San Francisco. I stay up in San Carlos.
You're full of light. Your eyes are shining out, so this tells a lot, huh?
Yes, I'm healthy.
Yeah.
I'm very healthy.
Healthy and vibrant and happy.
Yes.
Well, life has been healed with Chow Qigong. It came at a really perfect time in my life, and things are really... It changed my whole life. When I first came to Dr. Chow, for a back problem, I had a slip and fall at work, and the first thing she did was ask me about what was going on in my life. A lot of things I didn't want to talk about. I was like white-knuckling through my middle years. My husband had hepatitis C, chronic hep C, for 10 years. My father was getting demented, and we had been totally estranged all my life, and my mother wasn't doing very well, and I just thought I was just going to have to just grit my teeth through this whole thing. And as soon as we started working together and talking about these things, my life just began to flow. I didn't make any real changes. Things just sort of opened up for me. And the outcome of that is my husband is now cured of hepatitis C. After 10 years, he took Chow Qigong, the training, and his hope and dream was to be virus-free, and he is now. So we have a whole life together. So that really...
It's amazing how not letting the disease take control, but really took control of your life, and you were open to some new, I mean, not new techniques, but I guess for us in our world, it could be quite new and very different from what we're used to. So you opened up to learn from others and practice it, and he practiced it. So it takes a lot of courage to do that. I mean, without you in there, you wouldn't have achieved that, right?
That's exactly right. I mean, that is, I think you hit the nail on the head. What it did is it gave me the idea that I have control of my life, and I can affect the outcomes of my life rather than being a subject of my life. I am the principal. So a lot of power, personal power. And it's opened up a lot of things. My dad and I now have a wonderful relationship.
And we fostered a Congress of Qigong in Canada, and we have the Romanian Qigong Association, we have the German Qigong Association. So we have a World Qigong Federation, and it's very exciting. The people that's involved is like they're community-minded, and everybody volunteers to do this. Even we have movie stars with us, and they're volunteering the time to build this community.
But tell us, how is it different? How is it Qigong evolving?
Well, Qigong, as you know, has about over 5,000 different styles, and Tai Chi is one of them. Everybody knows Tai Chi, but Qigong, and then of course I have the Chow Qigong, which isn't part of this 5,000 yet, and there's others that's developing. And so, you know, Qigong developed from individuals becoming sensitive to nature. And so they develop these movements and they feel and etc. And so the thing is, when you develop that in all the hamlets and operation, and so our Congress is something that I volunteer to do and support it with our own funding if there's no funding coming. And so I feel that it's very important for the Qigong and the traditional Chinese medicine community to come together and support one another, and not be adversaries and say, this is my turf and everything. And there needs to be a lot done like that so that we can be a stronger force along with natural healing and complementary alternative medicine. So develop this strong force so that we can become proactive in making legislation and in policies that govern our health and our life. But right now we're only on a reactive stage. We don't have any input. And so this is what the Congress is doing. And so with the Congress, we have babied, fostered the Congress in Italy. It's into its second now, and we foster the Congress in Japan, and it's had its second. Qigong can do.
So it's really about, again, just to remind, because we did some videos on Qigong already, but just for the people that are not too familiar, tell us what is your view of Qigong?
Well, Qigong, Qi is the vital life force. It's the breath, and so without breath, you're dead. Right? And so therefore that vital life force is very important. So you build that vital life force, and Gong means to work or to cultivate or to manifest. So it's manifesting the Qi, the vital life force, to its highest ability. And so therefore if you have low level of Qi, that means you have low level of health. And Qigong is the basis for traditional Chinese medicine, because Chinese medicine is based on the concept of the yin and yang and the energetics and the balance, the harmony of nature and ourselves. And so Qigong is really the basis of life.
Because you were an acupuncturist originally, no?
I am.
And you were still practicing in parallel Qigong? My beautiful, delicious co-creators, we're in the middle of San Francisco with amazing views here at Dr. Chow's home. Thank you for welcoming us.
You're very welcome. It's wonderful to have you here.
Wonderful to meet you in person. I heard great things because you brought so much healing. You brought so many methods and wisdom from China, haven't you?
Well, we try, and we have studied a lot of different methods. But so I have developed a particular system called the Chow Integrated Healing System, or the Chow Medical Qigong. And so it's a combination of the of the classic and also our modern Western kind of give it to me now sort of symptoms. And so we get very fast results and lasting results. And so we're very excited about what Chow medical Qigong. Oh yes. Well, see, in China, when you do Qigong, it isn't just practice Qigong.
Yeah.
You go for cupping, you go for moxa, and you go for acupuncture, you go for Tui Na On Mo, the massage, you know. So it's a combination, and whereas the vital life force is a basis of all that too as well. But I'd like you to know I'm a nurse as well.
Oh.
And I have my doctorate in education, and then became an acupuncturist and also a Qigong Grandmaster. And so combining all of these things, it makes things a lot more potent.
So how did Qigong evolve? How do you see it evolving? Because you're organizing the 13th Congress here in San Francisco of Qigong, so you must see some pretty amazing things and notice some people out there that are bringing unique skills and energy.
Yes, and we select them.
Yeah.
We select the best in the world. Every year we have the best in the world. And then we have some who are rising stars, and we like to encourage them too. You know, so we call them new generation and the traditional generation.